Birthdays had never meant much to me. I didn't like attention, surprises, or being the center of a crowd. But my wife, Hannah, loved birthdays, planning, decorating, and turning ordinary days into celebrations. She always made mine special, even when I told her not to bother. This year, though, things were different. Work had been heavy, and I'd been feeling drained for weeks. I told her quietly, "Let's just keep it simple this time." She smiled but looked disappointed. "Just dinner, okay?" she said. I nodded. But as the day came closer, I could sense she was expecting more from me too. More energy, more enthusiasm. The truth was, I didn't have it in me. I felt emotionally empty and didn't know how to explain why. On the morning of my birthday, Hannah woke me with breakfast in bed and a bright, "Happy birthday." I smiled weakly and thanked her, but she immediately noticed the lack of excitement. "You could at least act happy," she said, half joking. I tried to laugh it off, but she wasn't wrong. I wasn't myself. Later that day, she called from work. "I'm picking up the cake and a few friends are coming over tonight," she said. I hesitated. "I told you I didn't want a party, Hannah." Her tone changed. "It's just a few people. Why do you always have to make things difficult?" By the time she came home, frustration hung between us like a thick cloud. She walked in, arms full of groceries and decorations, while I sat quietly on the couch. "You could have at least helped me," she snapped. "You act like I'm doing something wrong for trying to make you happy." I stood up slowly, my chest heavy. "I told you, I didn't want a party," I said softly. She frowned, clearly angry now. "Do you even care about me anymore?" she asked, her voice trembling. That question hit deeper than she realized. I turned away, unable to answer. She took my silence as indifference and stormed off to the kitchen, slamming the door behind her. I sat there, staring at the half-inflated balloons, the untouched cake box, and the dinner she had spent hours preparing. Guilt began to rise inside me like a tide I couldn't hold back. After a few minutes, I walked to the mirror near the hallway. What I saw made me stop. My own face, tired, pale, with dark circles beneath my eyes, looked like someone who had forgotten how to smile. I realized Hannah wasn't angry about the party. She was hurt because I had stopped letting her in. I had been carrying my stress alone, shutting her out without meaning to. I took a deep breath and walked to the kitchen. She was standing there, wiping the counter with her back to me. "Hannah," I said quietly. She didn't turn. "I know you're upset, but before you say anything else, just look at me." When she turned around, her expression changed completely. The anger in her eyes melted into concern. She stepped closer. "You look exhausted," she whispered. "What's wrong?" I told her everything. How work had been overwhelming, how I'd been waking up anxious every morning, how I didn't want to ruin her plans but also didn't have the strength to pretend to be fine. As I spoke, her shoulders relaxed, and her eyes softened. She reached up and touched my cheek gently. "You should have told me," she said. "You don't have to hide pain from me." We sat down together, and for the first time in weeks, I felt lighter. The party never happened that night. She called her friends, canceled everything, and instead lit a few candles on the table. We ate quietly, talking about life, fears, and little things we'd both been too busy to share. Later, as the night grew quiet, she brought out the cake anyway, just for us. "Make a wish," she said with a small smile. I closed my eyes and whispered, "I just want peace." She smiled and said, "Then we'll find it together." The next morning, she left a note on the counter before heading to work. It said, "No balloons next year. Just you, that's enough." I smiled reading it, feeling warmth replace the heaviness that had followed me for months. That birthday didn't have a party or a crowd, but it gave me something far more important, understanding. It reminded me that love isn't about doing grand things. It's about seeing someone's pain even when they're trying to hide it behind silence. Now, every year when my birthday comes, Hannah doesn't ask how I want to celebrate. She just looks at me and says, "You okay?" And somehow, that simple question means more than any gift ever could.